This week's video, I'm going to show you how to make seed tape, your own seed tape at home with things that you just have around the house. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Garden. I've noticed over the last year or so that seed tape has actually been quite popular. And I can understand why, because especially with the small seeds like carrots and spring onions and things like that, that are really hard to handle and really fiddly, the seed tape comes already pre-measured out for you. But I've also noticed that they're very expensive. On the surface, they don't look like they're very expensive because you get so many meters for, you know, a couple of quid. But if you look at how many seeds are included on the seed tape, then you'll realize that you can buy a pack of seeds that are 10, sometimes 50 times that number, maybe even 100 times that number for less than what you're paying for the seed tape. So seed for seed, it's actually quite expensive. So I'm going to show you how to make your own seed tape with things that you've just got around the house. So let's get started. Okay, so the things that you're going to need are toilet roll, or you can use kitchen roll if you want to. And you're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a pencil. Obviously, you're going to need seeds. I'm using the Winter Hardy spring onions that I talked about in last week's video. And I'm also going to make some for my carrots. You're going to need a ruler, you're going to need a sponge, a little bit of water in a little dish, and you're also going to need some glue. Now, I'm not using glue like PVC glue. I'm actually making my glue out of flour and water. I used about 3 teaspoons of just plain flour and then just put enough water in it to make this kind of consistency, where it's glue-like, where it'll stick to the end of whatever you're using. If you're going to be making seed tape for little seeds, I would recommend a skewer that has a point on the end, and you use the pointed end for that because they're small. But if you're going to use bigger seeds like beetroot, for instance, use the blunt end of the stick because you put more glue on it. So what you're going to need to know is how far apart to put your seeds on your seed tape. Now I'm going to make 2 lengths of seed tape with this toilet roll. And like I said, you can use kitchen roll if you want to. So I'm going to fold it over just like that. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down the fold. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's just, you're going to end up planting it in the ground anyway. So you're going to fold that over again because I found that it was a lot easier if you know where your half mark is. Okay. Now, you may think that I'm being a bit pedantic, but I'm also going to fold it over a third time here, just to the middle, because you're going to put your seeds down the middle of one side. So it's a lot easier if you know where that middle is instead of trying to guess when you're doing your measurements. It makes it very simple, very quick, and very efficient. Okay. So now, this is the point where you're going to put your seeds on this little fold here, not the middle fold, because that's going to fold over that way, and that means that your seeds will be in the middle. Okay. So my carrot seeds need to be planted about 1 centimeter apart. Now, I have done just exactly what everybody else has done. When you're planting seeds, you just put a bunch in your fingers and you just do that, and then you thin them out as you go along. I don't like to thin stuff out, but I know that I need to thin things out or I'm going to have carrots that are like that big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-measure And these ones need to be marked at 1 centimeter apart. So I'm going to start with my ruler on the edge that it's supposed to be on here. And I'm going to pull it back just a wee bit so I've got my mark where I need to put the glue. I'm going to make a little mark with the pencil at 1 centimeter all the way down. And then I'm just going to overlay some of that so I know where to go and finish that up. So we've got about 46 there, I think. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your glue and you're going to put a little dollop, just a little one, on your marks all the way down. And what that's going to do is that's going to hold your, that's a big fat one. It's going to hold your seeds in place so they don't slop around the inside of your seed tape. You could do this with water, but I found that this actually holds them better. I have seen people use PVC glue, but I don't think that's a good idea. It's got plastic in it, and we certainly don't want to be putting plastic in the ground. You'll still need to thin your carrots out with this, but you won't have to thin them out as much. And they'll be a lot easier to figure out where the actual carrots are. There you go. See, that didn't take very long. Now the next thing I'm going to do is open my carrots. And I'm just going to put them down on the table because they'll go back in the packet, the ones that I don't use. I'm never going to use that many. Gosh, I love the smell of carrot seeds. I don't know why. They just smell delicious. Okay, so now you're going to take a single carrot seeds. Now this is the fun part. If you don't have nimble fingers, then you can use the end of a pencil, not one of these, a regular wooden pencil, and dip it in a little bit of water, and then, I mean, not very much water, just enough to make it damp. And then it should actually go back on, but I've got fingers small enough that I can work with these seeds. It takes a little bit longer using fingers, but it still does the job. You want to make sure you're only putting one seed in each little bit of the flour glue. There we go. Just spread some of these seeds out here. There we go. Now I'm going to continue this on, but I'll come back to you when it's all finished. Okay, so there we go. Now all the carrots are in there. All the carrot seeds are in there. And what we're going to do is fold that over now. And even if the glue starts to get a little bit solid and starts to dry, it's still going to be really quite sticky. So there we have the carrots, and you definitely want to make sure that you mark what you've got. I'm going to write in ballpoint carrot, and then the variety is rainbow mix. Rainbow mix. Okay. Now I'll put these aside at the moment because I don't want to get them wet. Because what you're going to do next is you're going to seal the edge of the toilet roll. Now, you know, if you know toilet roll, you'll know that toilet roll is, as soon as it starts getting wet, it just kind of disintegrates. But you're going to just kind of tap the edge with your wet sponge, just damp sponge really. Just tap the edge, and that's just going to seal the edge of that. And then that way it won't unravel before you put it in the ground. Do that all the way down. Now that's done. Now instead of doing anything with it now, I'll let it dry. And then what I'll do is I'll roll it up and I'll put it in a jar. Now I made these yesterday. So I've got some for beetroot seeds and I've got some for another type of carrot. So you can see after they've dried, they're actually just like regular seed tape. These will, what you'll do is you'll just plant this directly into the ground. Make sure you know exactly how far apart your rows need to be, and then just cut it to whatever length that you need it. You can make these longer, you can make them shorter, however you want to do it. But I made some for some beetroot yesterday as well. But I'm going to make some for my winter onions. And what I've done, because I've marked what they are, I just roll them up like this. You can roll them on an empty toilet roll too if you want to. But I'm just rolling them up like this. And because they sit like they do at the end, you can see what's what. And I'll just store them in this jar. Get in there. I'll store them in this jar. And then I'll put these where I keep the rest of my seeds in a dark place. So that is how you make seed tape. And you can make as much seed tape as you want, and with whatever kind of seeds that you want to make them with. And you'll be ready for spring. They'll be ready to go. They'll be ready to just go straight into the ground as soon as you get ready to plant them. Carrots, spring onions don't like to be moved after they have been planted. They don't like to be transplanted. So this is perfect, because as soon as you get this in the ground and you put the soil over it and you water it down, that toilet roll or kitchen towel or kitchen roll or whatever is going to start to break down, and it'll go into the soil, and it'll break down into the soil, and you'll never even know that it was there once everything starts growing up. So that is how to make seed tape. So there you go. It's about as simple as it gets, and you can make as much or as little as you want. Depends on how much you're gonna sow. You can even make these and give them away as gifts for somebody that you know that's just getting started in a garden. It'd be a great gift for somebody for a birthday, or that holiday at the end of next month. They're so easy to make. It's ridiculous. I would never ever buy seed tape now that I know that I can make my own seed tape. So I hope that helps you, and I'm going to be doing a few more of these through the winter months when it's too cold to film outside. So if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see, I'm going to be talking about containers and all kinds of different things, and winter growing too. But so you don't miss any of those videos, you'll need to subscribe to the channel. And as my pal Mark at Mark's Allotment Plot says, it's absolutely free. And just hit the little notification bell whenever, so you don't miss any of the uploads that I'll be doing over the winter months. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye, y'all.